Alright, I've been trying to find a good way to explain exactly how to explain averages and mean. In mean median mode, you have the mean, which is the average number, and it's a number that encompasses a value that represents the data, and you can say what's above average, what's below average. And how do we come to this number, and how does it work? Because we learn it mechanically in terms of just adding the numbers and dividing it by how many numbers we have. So I'm going to show you exactly how it works. So let's get an example rolling here. I'm going to use easy numbers. Let's see, 3, 1, and what do I want this to add up to? Alright, I know what I want it to add up to. 3, 1, and let's have another 3 and another 1. Alright, so that's good. And how many values do we have here? Let's go ahead and count them up. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Alright, so that's good. So we have these 8 values. So the thing that we do usually, and I'm going to do it here, is we add the values that we get up. So we have all these values, and we're going to add them up. So when you add up 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 is equal to 12, and 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 4, and 4 plus 12 is 16. Alright, so that was easy. And what you always focus on are these two values, the total here and also the total here. Well, not the total, but the amount of numbers that you get. So in this, let's go ahead and graph this data. It'll give us a better idea of what we're doing. So this will be our graph, and we're going to have each tick, what I will call the tick are these blue numbers here representing the amount of numbers we have that we're working with. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Alright, so in this, let's see, we could have a value of 1, we can have a value of 2, we could also have a value of 3. Alright, so let's just complete that. So our first tick, or our first possible value we get, is 3, then we get a 1, then we get 3, then we get 1, 3, 1, 3, 1. And this is probably everything you've seen before, a little zigzagging line. And we know that the average is going to be some type of number between these values, something around here, let's say, or whatever. But that's not the point. That's knowing it mechanically. The key is, what is the average? Well, let me use an example. Let's say the average is E. E is a number. We don't know what number it is, but that number is equal to the average, which is equal to the mean. So in this, let's apply E here. E is a number that we add the same amount of the same amount of entries we have. So E is going to be here, it's going to be here, we're going to have it E here, we're going to have it E here, we're going to have it E here. Well, what am I doing with all these E's? Well, if I take all the E's, let's say I do E plus E plus E, and I know you might be confused, but just stay with me, you'll see what all this means in the end. Plus E plus E plus E plus E. You notice we have an E for each entry, so let's go ahead and count them out. So that's entry 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So what's unique about this? I have 8 E's and I'm adding them. But what are they going to add up to? Well, I'll tell you. They're going to add up to 16. Well, okay. Well, this is something interesting. It's kind of matching up to something we've seen before. The 16s are matching up, and what else is matching up is the amount of numbers we have, the 8s. So let's continue working with this. What is when we have all these e's like this? What does that also mean? Let me bring out a little. What is 3 plus 3 is equal to 6, right? And we also have 2 plus 2 plus 2 is equal to 6. And we see this is a definition. When 3 times 2, you see 3 times 2 can be interpreted as 3 adding itself 2 times, or 2 adding itself 3 times. So what does this mean? Well, this means 3 times 2 is also equal to 6. Excuse me, I got a cold. So the e's adding themselves 8 times, that's the same thing as e times 8, which is equal to 16. So again, I said the average is e. And we seem to be very close to getting that e because we have everything else. We have the e times the 8, which is equal to 16. So there are a couple ways to do this. You could take algebraically, you could take this 8, I should say, and actually let me switch colors again. Let me use the red. I like red. Oh, didn't give me red. So you could take this 8 here. I can move it to the other side. And since it's multiplying here, when you move something to the other side, it does the opposite. So it will be 16 divided by 8. And it would give you a 2. 16 divided by 8 is 2. And you can learn this mechanically. You could just say, okay, I get a total of 16, and then I divide it by an 8, which gives me 2, which is the average. But why is it the average? Because 2 plus 2, and let me write it here, 2 plus 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 2 gives you 16. It's one number adding itself with the same amount of data entries that you have that give you the same total, the same number that you added everything else. But particularly, it's a number that adds itself the amount of times. So I hope you understand how that works. I hope you also understand how division plays into it, because division, once you get your answer of division, you could do basically, once you get your answer to the division, you could take this value, the 8, and you could get back to the 16, because 2 times 8 is equal to 16. And the side effect of division is that it gives you a number that you can add itself over and over again to give you back the original number. That's what the point is. So if I make this thick, this range, whole range here, represents 16. If I split it, if I divide it by 2, it's going to give me 2 big chunks of 8. And 8 plus 8 gives me back to 16. And if I divide 16 into 8 pieces, 1, 2, 3, that'll be 4, 5, 6. So well, there are 8 chunks there, and you add them all together, which is 2. That'll also give you 16. So 16 gives you the number that you need. Well, I mean, this whole process gives you that number e that's adding itself over and over again. So I feel like I'm beating a dead horse here. So I hope you got my point, and hope you understand. Thank you.